East, West, Bulldogs, Peacocks. The reigning champs, fiery, unrelenting, biting down hard to keep their crown. The Underbirds, proud, defiant, ready to rattle their train to take it all away. Claws against feathers. Swag versus strut. Fierce, regal. Two teams, one Wilchester. 60 minutes for all the glory. Welcome to Pecan Bowl XIV.
That was a great opening intro there with the hype video for the Pecan Bowl XIV. Thanks so much, guys, for being here on the couches. Thanks for the Urics for opening their home to us for the next installment of Porchast. This is season 2 for Porchast, if we want to call it that. We took a little hiatus, a little break during the fall with a busy fall schedule, but today's episode is going to be great. We're going to be talking about the Pecan Bowl, everything that goes into it, and all the different elements of it. We got Blaine Larson here that is who's going to be this year's Pecan Bowl chairman and committee director. We're going to be talking about the Pecan Bowl teams. At halftime, we're going to be catching up with tabs. We'll have that at halftime. At third quarter, we've got some videos, some sights and sounds of the Pecan Bowl. And then finally in the fourth quarter, we'll be talking about post-Pecan Bowl victory shenanigans. You had to check that just to see if it was just moving about a little bit. That's a good call.
You wanted it in a shot, is what it was.
And then our fourth quarter is going to be our talking about post-game shenanigans for all the teams. And then finally, in our overtime, we're going to be talking about some changes, maybe some things we want to see next year. So let's get started. Before we do that, though, let's do some introductions. Matt Hawthorne here. Take a minute to introduce.
Sure, Matt Hawthorne, Queensbury Lane, East Side, played for a long time, thankfully retired. So,
and sideline reporter extraordinaire.
that's right.
Graham Buttram, Wilchester Men's Club board member, live on Woodthorpe.
And also was in the Cougar USA broadcast booth this past year. Blaine?
Blaine Larson, this is my 7th year playing Pecan Bowl. I play for the North. I live on Berry Knoll, and this is year 2 on the board for me. I'm this year's Pecan Bowl commissioner.
Thanks so much, Blaine. And of course, I'm John Burry here, and again, part of the Cougar USA broadcast booth as well. You can see we've got all of our sponsors. We had 25 sponsors this year with a few more coming in, and they all had an opportunity to participate in our signature event for the fall. So let's go ahead, guys, and get started. So first quarter action, talk about the Pecan Bowl itself. We're not going to go into the history of that because we covered that during our previous Porchcast. I encourage you all to look at that. It was at Casa de Baton, and it was a lot of fun. But Blaine, you were our Pecan Bowl chairman this year. How was it? First year chairman, and what is all that goes into this?
It's a lot of fun. It's a great event. You know, the big picture, it's 4 teams. Each team's got around 30 players, so we've got 120 guys that are out there participating. And with families, we think it's somewhere around 400 to 500 spectators on the semifinal day. So it's a big event. There's a lot that goes into planning it. We've got a great committee that does a lot of work prepping, and we've got, I think, 13 guys on the committee. Everyone has their own specific task, and as the commissioner, it's basically my job just to make sure everyone else does their job. And everyone did great this year. A lot of guys stepped up, a lot of creative ideas. I thought it was a great event.
Yeah, and that Pecan Bowl committee, they handle a lot of stuff that goes on in the background, discussions about rules or, personnel seating and where every guy goes, because not every team has guys that they can pull from their own areas and they have to go elsewhere. And so a lot of conversations go on in the background of that, and they do a fantastic job of setting all that up. So good.
I'm sure they're all civil conversations. I'm sure they're very civil.
I was going to say, how is it on the WhatsApp or whatever y'all are using for it?
It's roster selection is the most contentious part.
You ever been to an SVMSA draft? That's about what it's like.
Luckily, my kids are still in church league sports at this point, so I have not experienced that yet. But it's good. I think everyone on the committee has played for a while, and so everyone on the committee understands that when you're wearing your committee hat, your role is to think about the organization. Your role is to think about the event, and more so than your team. So there are times when we have decisions that are team based, but a lot of all the guys that are on that committee are I think able to put on their committee member hat and think like at this level rather than on a team by team level.
And Matt, you've been playing for a long time. How have you seen it evolve from some of the early days to, today?
Yeah, it's definitely evolved a lot. My first Pecan Bowl was Pecan Bowl XIV, and it was a lot. I don't want to say smaller. I mean, it was still same field, same size, but just not as big of a spectacle as it is today. And then you kind of see it through the years, and the swag gets better. I mean, the North seems to have a $500 or $600 annual swag budget. I don't know if that's true or not.
It was on my credit card. I can confirm that's true.
There's an assessment when you join an area.
I think so. In that pocket of the neighborhood, I think you have to budget for that. It sounds like
127 shirts this year for wives and kids.
That's impressive right there. That is a great time. I'll tell you, we have a ton of fun in the broadcast booths and seeing all the guys, knowing what kind of hard work. So again, beyond the committee, what kind of hard work goes into the prep with the teams?
Sure. I think when I first signed up for Pecan Bowl and someone told me we had to practice, I thought I was being pranked. I didn't realize teams actually practice for a neighborhood flag football game. But lo and behold, most teams actually practice 2 to 3 times a week over the course of about 6 weeks. So that ends up being somewhere between 6 to 10 practices per team. I believe the West and the South scrimmage this year. So some teams West and East scrimmage this year. So it's a lot of work, and then there's stretching and not getting injured and all the normal middle-aged men injuries.
About not getting injured.
I can't talk about that. No, I can't talk. I will say I do the PS every year. I do the public service announcement for the rookies, and it is buy a mouth guard. Like absolutely, but you don't think it's going to be intense, and then Justin Hopper comes around with Josh Hopper. I was thinking Dustin Hopper, whatever. But Josh Hopper and his bony elbows throw an elbow, and you catch one in the chin, and then you're at the the St. Mary's emergency room over there in front of Academy. I mean, it's all kind of a blur. So
Sponsor could be.
About it, fine, should be. You know what?
Should be.
They definitely got to be
Up there with Cryotech for the West.
Oh,
Simmons.
It's
Simmons, the IV place over here, the Forever Young or whatever it is.
holy smokes! I was seeing the Stretch Labs, who were in-kind sponsor. They had the stretching tables out there. That was a ton of fun, and the games are great. So let's talk about the teams and the games for the semifinals itself. So with the lead up, we have the North, South, East, and West. As you can see, we have some of the accoutrement, some of the garb there with each of the teams. So each of the teams has their own personality. You're on the North here, Blaine. What is it about you guys?
I think the North is just a very collegial group of guys.
You have your own Twitter account. Let's start there. Okay, let's start. I'm sorry. Let's
Scouts now.
start there.
It was Twitter when it started.
That is fair.
There's wild stuff posted on there, like guys riding bicycles through Amsterdam wearing North shirts. I mean, crazy things like that. The North has its own Twitter account.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I recall seeing pictures of the Bulldog the year that y'all won,
Yes,
like at the Masters with John Daly.
the Bulldog part of that trophy actually detaches from the rest of the trophy, and 4 guys the year we won took the trophy to Augusta, carried it onto a plane, and brought it through security. And they were afraid to actually bring it into Augusta, so they just brought it to Hooters the day before practice session. When John Daly was there, and so
He pulls over his RV.
yes,
Yeah.
John Daly always sets up at Hooters before all the majors, and he was there. So if you detach the Bulldog, John Daly signed the bottom of the Bulldog.
That's the history. I mean,
It's a piece of North history.
I know, that is great. Well, and with the East, Matt, you were on that team. What's the vibe of the East for the folks who may not know, who want to join Pecan Bowl, who are interested about moving in the neighborhood? How's it been in the East?
well, for the East, so I've I didn't play this year, but we have Coach Urich over here that starts doing 5:30 a.m. workouts at the track. I think twice a week starting like September, October. So there's definitely a lot of effort, and a lot of that's just to prevent people from getting injured, frankly, because that's a lot of it. And the East, they practice. They do practice. The practices are intense. People, I've seen more injuries probably in practice than you see in the game, just because you're going, for an hour and a half twice a week, and it's just a lot. But the East, the East culture from when I started to where it is now has kind of evolved. It's much more social, much more collegial. You've got a good group of guys that show up to, like, individual team happy hours and stuff like that. So there's really been a good effort over the years as it's progressed to create more of a I don't know, like an institutional type culture. Not that that's, we're talking about flag football. We're really talking about flag football. This is deep on me, gut thing. And this is not a good first thing about it. It's process. And so here we go.
I love it. Now, how about the West? I mean, it's no secret you're a West homer.
Just that I didn't know. Okay, no, yeah. I played on West last year. Lived in West for a long time, and was planning on playing this year. Decided not to, so that some other guys could play. But over the years, West has won a total of one football game of Pecan Bowl. That was this year.
No. Well, in the modern era.
No, in the modern Pecan Bowl era.
No, Kyle Fletcher and the team from the West, they won it during the second Pecan Bowl. They had a good.
But in our modern Pecan Bowl 4-team era with North, South, East, and West, West has been to one final. And so with that, you have a lot of guys who leave the team. They want to win, so they decide not to play or whatever. And then we have 10 guys off, 10 guys on every year, it seems like. This year, the whole vibe around the team, everything from prep work to guys showing up for practices and taking it seriously, guys coaching on the sidelines, revamped playbook on offense and defense. There was definitely a change in the approach to Pecan Bowl this year. So I think that you're going to see a different West team going forward for sure.
That's awesome. And then the final team, the South, which is really, again, has a number of their plaques on the trophy there. And they have the motto, Roll South. And we know a lot of guys who are part of the South, and they just have a really get it done attitude. They always seem to have a great party over at Jeff Peterson's. I've heard stories about his hot tub after the game, that they have a ton of fun over there. Matt Means, who's on the board here, he actually told me this year that I was being a little bit too close to the East Side, so I wore a black jacket during the semifinals. Had to even things out here to not be.
Credit to you for your professionalism.
I'm a consummate professional, I mean, you got to be. You represent all four teams. So, all four teams, a lot of fun. So let's talk about the semifinal games. West versus South, game one of the 2-game semifinal doubleheader.
What would you call that, Grant?
I would call that a defensive struggle. Here's what I would call that.
I love it. I'm glad that we finally figured that one out.
Yeah, we figured that out long before we figured out Conan Koenig. So I'm glad we got that.
Still not quite there yet, but it was a lot of fun watching. You were on the sidelines as a reporter here. What did you see over there?
I mean, it was a tough game. I mean, you had standout performances on both sides. I saw Scott Coulter at Pizarro's last night and recounted to him that he had 2 hands on a ball in the corner that he ended up, knocking down. And so, Chris McGee was a big go-to guy for the South, had a lot of catches. I mean, it was a tough game. It really, towards the end, like, you didn't know who was going to win that game. Like, it just went back and forth all game long. You had Luke Tomas, who was the defensive MVP, had a really good game as a rookie. Ricky Voles had a ton of flagpoles. I mean, it was a great game. It really was, as Pecan Bowl games go. I mean, you have a 6-0 game, and then the next game you have 4 or 5 touchdowns. So you just kind of never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. It was a good time. And how about the East versus the North, 25-12? How was it for you guys? Coming up a little bit short. Maybe a lot short.
So how was it, Blaine? Let's ask him.
How did I feel losing? The rumps of Saul Naloon. Well, the North has beaten the East one time in Pecan Bowl history. I think we're 1-8 now, 1-7 against the East, something like that. No team has ever beaten the East in the Fleetwood era, we'll call it. So they're a good team. Their offense is good. Their defense is solid. And they don't turn the ball over. So all the things you talk about in winning plays in real football, the East does a good job.
How about so does the play on the hat, you got to talk about that for a second. I mean, was that in the playbook?
The play on the hat. So I don't know if y'all know this story. There's the camera right there. The play, we used to practice on Saturday mornings over at Westchester Taco Cabana Memorial Stadium. And we'd meet up at 7:30, and then about 8:45 or 9 o'clock, we would all walk over and go to Taco Cabana and have breakfast over there. One day, David Laverne was just sketching out plays on the thread, drafted this, sent around, I think literally on a napkin, took a picture of it, sent it around on our North thread. And within a week, we had hats and shirts printed of it. It's been our logo ever since that day.
Hey, listen, it's certainly something. You see the flags around the neighborhood, you see the signs in the yard, the roll souths, the east side, and you see even the moms rolling around at the
Great mom swag this year.
great mom swag. You got it was the east side was beat everyone. I saw that one. That was really solid. The south was what did the south have? They had their
Nothing.
they had stuff. Anyway, they're good. And then, the West always comes in peacocks everywhere. I mean, it's just always somebody. I heard the peacock story of going on the Amazon and buying up all the inflatable peacocks.
So somebody
Of them from, it was great.
somebody found the inflatable peacocks. When Christmas time, everybody's getting inflatable stuff in their yard. Somebody found this inflatable peacock and sent it on the WhatsApp chat. And within minutes, they were, I'm sure the price went through the roof once they realized that there was some demand there. But somebody went on to order one, I don't know, a week afterwards, after everyone found out about this listing. And it had a little thing on Amazon where it's like, this is a hot product, 50 plus sold in the last week. I guarantee you, at least half of those went to the West Side. It was pretty cool.
That is awesome. Honestly, I love the fact that each of the 4 teams have their own personalities and their own swag. That just brings the Pecan Bowl to another dimension and adds, they're not just, regular guys rolling out there. They have an identity, and I mean, it's really great when you're moving to the neighborhood and you get in an area and then the guys start recruiting you. And the next thing you know, you got 3 D1 athletes on the West secondary, and things happen. I mean, it is what it is. So, we're going to move to halftime now, and we'd like to bring up our sponsor. All right, guys, we got Tabitha here, our title sponsor for Pecan Bowl and longtime Wilchester Men's Club sponsor as well. So, Tabitha, tell me what it is. I mean, you're in realty, you're in real estate. Tell me what it means for the Wilchester Men's Club and the Pecan Bowl to, help you sell this neighborhood.
I think historically, Wilchester's always been known really well for our women's club, our mother's club. Like, no doubt, everybody knows Wilchester's a destination neighborhood. But what Pecan Bowl has done is it's brought in the men. And I think that's so cool. Like, we all know that women are better connectors. Well, actually, I'm going to take that back. Historically, we thought women are better connectors, but now we've got this football game. And I mean, I've stood with some clients just right across the street, talked to them about Pecan Bowl, and suddenly they're like, I didn't want to live here. I don't want to buy an old house at this price. I'm all in. Sign me up.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I think it's great because it gives men an opportunity to connect and have community with each other. And that's what we're here for.
That's great. Well, no, we love having you as part of the Pecan Bowl and Wilchester Men's Club itself, because being our platinum sponsor, it means a lot to our giving partners as well as the fun stuff we get to do here. So it's awesome. How are things, again, locally, real estate, everything like that? I mean, you're connected to that, focused and committed.
I'm committed. Anybody here looking to buy or sell Dark Square?
One hand in the back, and
You see, we're doing great. Houston's obviously got a great economy. very diversified, much more so than we were even in 2016 when oil went below $50 a barrel. That hit this neighborhood really hard this year. In previous years, we've been doing just fine, and it's a destination school district, but this neighborhood is a destination community. And so I think that we're all doing great. But if anybody knows about any inventory, well, holler at your girl or bro.
I love it.
I got lots of people trying to get in. I got no houses.
It's tough. It's tough. It is incredibly tough. I mean, the men's club represents, not only Wilchester, but Wilchester West, Nottingham, and Nottingham West. So it's a great, it's an incredible thing to be a part of.
Yeah, the whole Wilchester community, and I think that's one of the best things about it is it's not so exclusive. It's inclusive. It's all the neighborhoods that encompass Wilchester Elementary, and that makes it really fun. Because there's conversation to be had with everybody. All the time. We've got a neighbor at the end of our street, and his, son is Cody Schwartz, quarterback for the West, and that guy is the biggest Eastside fan until Cody joined the neighborhood. Hey, I helped Cody get here and love him, but now I'm like, man, what are we doing here? So it's it keeps it fun, it keeps it lively. I've got a little bit of a conflict of interest at times.
A little.
Yeah,
Are you tired of hosting Eastside Championship parties at your house?
If you would have asked me this time last year, I would have said yes. This year is a little bit better. As it turns out, it's some of our more senior members of the team that maybe all out.
Yeah.
Rick's
not allowed in the house anymore. Yeah. Is the rule, I think.
Is the rule. That's good.
I didn't say it. Yeah, he's not allowed without an attendant. And for some of the other guys on the Eastside team who I may have, impulsively called out at open houses, I'm sorry. I'll already apologize to you in person. But no, happy to host, happy to be center point for the community. And I think it's great what y'all are doing. The fact that y'all have made grown man freaking football into a fundraiser, and you're raising $40,000 to go right back in the community for Family Point Resources, which is just an incredible thing in this community, and SBEF. Could not be happier about the choices and the decisions for where that money goes. That's amazing. That's a great focus. So I think if y'all weren't doing that, I'm not sure they would be this cool. But no, y'all did it. When North did their little parade.
Big parade. Big little. So one-time event. One-time event.
I'm here for the community. I'm here for the fundraising. Love the shit talker.
Awesome.
Day long. So
awesome. That is a big part of it. Tabitha, we're gonna have Chef Corey Baden.
All right.
With his famous wings here.
Got soggy now. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. We're shout out on those. We're going to.
He's had the lid on it.
every girl dreamed to eat a wing on camera.
We're going to be talking about.
I'd rather straddle droopy.
Look, we will too. We're eye on Pax Salmon. There we go. Corey, what kind of wings do we have here? We always have a halftime delight. What do we have? What kind of sauce do we have here?
We have a garlic peri from Nando's, and then a lemon pepper buffalo sauce.
All right, a garlic peri. Garlic. That's got to be garlic. That's got to be buffalo. Peri.
Spun it around. He said he didn't know which side is which. So.
Gonna win.
All right, garlic's gonna win. All right. Well, while these guys are digging in, I do want to say this. So we're moving into quarter 3, and oh man. Okay. Well,
they're freshly fried.
I'm gonna get on them. Maybe we are still in halftime. All right. Halftime. It's fluid.
I go. Blue cheese has the lid on it. Our apologies to go. It go only time.
Yeah, that is true.
John used to perform at halftime back in high school.
Oh man, that is true. I was. Yeah. No, it was the drum major at Memorial High School. So right down the road here.
How have you never? How did it get here?
Any of it.
I don't know if John wanted to reveal that, but I just kind of outed him. That was great.
No, man, it was a lot of fun. That was And actually, true story, I was buying a piano from Memorial Area Trading or whatever it was. Ended up going to somebody's house that was selling it because their daughter was moving on, and she was that year drum major of Memorial High School, and we did this thing back in the late '90s and signed some sort of I was signing the baton, and I asked her, I said, hey, do y'all still pass that baton year to year or whatever it is? And she said, sure do. And she came down with it. I mean, this was like 3 years ago type thing. Sure enough, brought it down. My signature was right there. I was like, yep, that's it was a small world. So I mean, what's great about that is I'll say this, that a lot of people who are in this community stay in this community. And I don't know, Tabitha, you see that, like the people you're selling to,
Absolutely.
that you are like selling to people who grew up here.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on bike rides, Boots and Bikes 2 years ago, riding to the next destination. That was fun. With Ben Bretthauer, big East Side contributor, and cost up his parents. And his parents also grew up in the neighborhood. He was their childhood home on Queensberry. And so it's really special. I mean, I grew up in A-Leap, and I'll tell you, nobody's going back there. So,
Tabitha, thank you for opening up your home. And we got to get back to the third quarter of play. And there you go. Yeah. Parting words from Tabitha. So third quarter, we're going to be doing a little bit of different style here. We're going to be throwing some things up on the screen here. And we've got a check for Family Point Resources that the men's club donated $20,000 to. And then also $20,000 to SBES. Been great giving partners, and I mean, I'm so glad that y'all are able to, organize them, getting them out, and them being a part of it as well.
Yeah, we love having our giving partners out there. It's great for them to see our organization, for us just to get to interact with them and talk to them about what they're doing, what their mission is. It's a great opportunity.
And we even had the superintendent from SBIC.
Yeah, Dr. Blaine was out there.
Dr. Blaine was.
She had been to a Pecan Bowl before, early single-digit Pecan Bowl. Hadn't been out in years. Came out and saw this and was blown away by everything that we do out here. And it's, we were thanking her because of, we get to use the facility, which that's one of the best parts, is that people can walk, they can ride their bikes, go golf cart, whatever it is, right to the field. It's in our backyard. It's really cool.
This was also the first year we've had a actual minister come do the invocation. Sean Duffin, the pastor at WMC, came and did the prayer for us for the semifinals.
That was awesome. It's cool. And Clint Harrington with Fine was there for the finals. So
Clint always does a great job.
Great job. It is for sure. Another new element was the drones this year. We had some new angles, and this was a video of our drone out there, and which was a lot of fun. Got some new and really wild angles. I'm pulling this up on, and I think I got here. This is the Captain Jack Sparrow view of this.
Oh, look at us. That's Larry Morgan.
Justin Morgan's here. We're ready to roll that one back again. I'm going to roll it back.
Look at him at the bottom of the screen. We don't have the telestrator.
No, we don't, but he catches over the
middle. Hard to miss.
It's like he's doing a limbo with no bar.
I mean, he did. It's straight out of a Disney movie.
Yeah. It was awesome to see the side view, then the Madden angle as well. Got a ton of great feedback from all of the from everybody out there. Another big piece of Pecan Bowl was the fans and family. I'm going to pull that up here. And the old peacock. I love it. But this gives a great view of just having all the fans and the family out here. I mean, your family is always see your dad out there, and
yeah,
everybody.
Years that I've played and gotten hurt, he's been out there. But my kids love it. Like my sons, who are now 12, have been around for almost every Pecan Bowl, and they want to come out and they want to work the chains for the semifinals. I had my son Wesley with the iPhone on the sidelines, like as a sideline cameraman. I mean, the up angle's not the greatest in the world, but
I loved it.
but
I thought it was
great. It was great, and they loved it, and they just want to be out there and they want to watch and you know have,
Taking a sideline reporting.
yeah, there we go.
What are we talking about? This sideline reporting we've had for a couple of years now. There's a great Craig Sager jacket with the plaid pants.
Lots of plaid. By the way, those are at the cleaners. I'll get you the claim ticket for.
Oh man, I appreciate that. But so this was the player of the game. Is that what we're looking at here?
That's Stuart Wilhite. That was following the semifinal game. He had 2 touchdowns. He was very excited, and
Got a real 1-2 punch on the microphone there.
it was. I didn't know what to do. It was very assertive, and I was a little concerned he was going to take it and run away with it. But no, he was excited. He was super excited, and he said I remember he said he
You
scored.
said we were going to hawk two on that.
Well, I don't know about that, but he said he scored his first 2 touchdowns ever, and it was just so excited about it. I mean, it's great. I mean, that's the type of stuff that you hope to see out there.
That is fun. And, you know, we had a lot of fun in the, once again, Cougar USA broadcast booth out here. And this was from the final. John Hampton, who can't be here tonight, but Grant and I were there. And the best part, and I want to encourage everybody to do this, is the player surveys. I know, gave us so much material to go off of. It was great. We talked about their spirit animal and their nickname, how many years they've been playing, the whole thing.
What was funny was that after the first game, I had guys walking up to me going, "Oh, I didn't. There's rookies. Oh, I didn't know you were gonna actually use that. Okay, here, let's think of a cooler spirit animal than the field mouse or whatever it was that some other guys gave us. Like my nickname's actually the Rock."
But it was a ton of fun. You know, we had some good plays here. I think this one I want to show here. This one is Cody Schwartz catching it off of Ryan Rush's face for the TD right there. And we'll play. What's that?
So yeah, that's QB1 catching the touchdown.
That's true. And then let's.
The aftermath of the face.
That'll leave a mark.
Yeah,
That was a. When you catch a football with your face, that'll do it.
that'll do it right there in the old eye socket.
Yeah, but that was good. I like this play. That was James Gray, the Superman shot.
Yeah. Did he get the flag?
I'm not sure if he was going for the flag.
Doesn't matter. That's a different
That is a different shot.
Porchast.
That is a different Porchast. That's right. But James Gray laying out there, man. I mean, that's a
Well, but that just goes to the absurdity of what we're doing here. These are 40-year-old men laying out to pull the flag. He probably hasn't walked around the block in a few years. And he's out there doing that, which is awesome. I don't know him. He might be a junkie, and I don't know. As speaking for someone who doesn't walk around the block regularly, that's awesome.
so good, so good. And then here, our favorite guy. Oh, Koenig. Go Koenig. Best part of this year was Jeff's last name.
So, okay, so his name is spelled as if it would be Koenig, but everyone else who has that name pronounces it
Koenig. Because it's with the K. Or
It's with the KOE.
the KOE.
The KOE is confusing.
Like the serial host, right? Sarah Koenig.
But his dad came up to me. Okay. His dad came up to me after the game.
Some of my listeners say that.
That's weird. But anyway. No, his dad came up to me after the game and he goes, "Okay, you don't know how many times we've had that as a family. Please lean into it." That's fine. You can butcher all, and again, speaking for someone who has their last name butchered all the time. That's hilarious. I love that.
I mean, listen, he's with Stanley, he's with Alecki, he's with Martinez, and we just go after Koenig, sorry. That was my favorite part, was when his daughter came out to do the sportsmanship speech. And it was, we announced his daughter correctly, and then it was daughter of Randy Koenig and Jeff Koenig. That was all great. It was so much fun.
That was fun.
It was so much fun. And then the championship picture with the confetti cannons.
Yeah, that was really cool. I love the kids getting into it.
that was a great time. They were having fun, and and the championship game was a lot of fun as well. I mean, it was.
It was. Was it?
Brandon thinks it was. Tim doesn't.
Brandon was, but it was the championship.
your repness in there.
That's a different picture. That was
So
there was a lot of good spirited plays, and yep, during the game. So, but East came up. They're going to be retaining the top dog trophy, and El Volley is going to stay in the East. So,
Yep.
Now we can move on to our fourth quarter of play, and it is the championship shenanigans, and which is
Just lost.
one of my. We lost the picture. The championship shenanigans is my favorite part, and I'll tell the South story. I procured a jacket and hat. This was from one of our South Side folks, and the fact that they showed up at the happy hour following the Pecan Bowl where they won the last time
With the drum line.
with
the drum line.
in the jacket, and then they hired a drum line.
I remember driving to that happy hour and seeing like a gathering in the Westchester parking lot, thinking it's dark. What are people doing over there? And then 15 minutes into the happy hour, you start to hear drums like marching down the street, and they did a little procession all the way into the pool. And I got to give it to them. That was pretty impressive to have the jackets. The emblem, the hat, all of that stuff. That's pretty good.
They were all wearing it, all showed up, walked in together with the drum line, and owned it. That was
good.
That was a great one. How about you guys on the North?
Well, we've always said on the North, if we ever win, everyone will hate us because of how great we celebrate. And so the plan had always been to have a parade. I thought that was, I never really believed that either, much like the practice, that there'd actually be a parade. And all of a sudden, someone texted our thread and said, the fire truck will be here at the Route 15. So lo and behold, we show up at Doug Goodson's house, and the fire truck is there. So we proceeded to drive through the neighborhood with the fire truck, blaring its sirens up and down every street. But about 30 minutes into the ride, they had to leave and go deal with the real emergency.
So I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that's negligence, but whatever.
I recall that because we played that morning, and then in the afternoon we were hosting family for a Christmas gathering because it was right before Christmas, and I'd start hearing yelling out of my front lawn, and I look out, and I got Elliot Wall and several others, Benedict Wall,
Yeah, that guy.
and I walk outside, and there's little like mini Prosecco bottles and Miller Lite cans just kind of strewn on my floor.
Wait. Ellie was drinking Prosecco all
I'm
day.
sure he was.
Yeah.
He was going Guinness Prosecco, the two-handed thing.
He's good at the two-handed thing.
But y'all made rings for it. Look, if you haven't seen these, they made rings. They were awesome. Roll it up at the next happy hour with those rings.
Now, my next door neighbor, Ryan Ferguson, has 2 actual World Series rings. So I showed him our North ring one time, and he was impressed with it. I don't know if he was just humoring me, but he said it looked legit.
Looked real.
We give those away at FanFest is what we do.
If you're one of the first 10,000 fans, we get one too.
You're still part of the team, right? You're still part of the team.
And so this year's swag, Matt, did you see? We got it out here.
Yeah, so what you see is the current year, the hats that courtesy of, I'm sure it was Rick. I don't really know for sure, but they just kind of magically appear. The championship stuff either appears or it doesn't appear, and it disappears to like some sub-Saharan country, and you never see it again. But he's also responsible for this, which is great. This is the Pecan Bowl 2 through 7 championship shirt that was made after East went on their 6-in-a-row run. And I still mow my lawn in that sometimes, and it's great to see that. It's
With the ugly shade of
this was before the
Frenching.
The second rebranding.
Yeah, not loving the color, but I had no choice in that one.
Dude, that's awesome. That is great. The rebranding, the swag, the rings, even when the Top Dog Trophy, if a new team wins or when a new team wins, they put their own mark on it and change it up. It's awesome. So let's move on to overtime. Last thing on the menu here tonight is talking about how we can make Pecan Bowl better. What do you want to see come back or whatever it is? So, Blaine, I'll start with you. What do you want to see for next year? What do you like? What do you want to change?
Well, one of the things we talk about a lot on Pecan Bowl is stickiness. How do you get guys to play, and then even after they retire, to stay involved in both Pecan Bowl and men's club as a whole? So we're constantly looking for ways to bridge the gap between the new guys who might be just moving to the neighborhood and the guys that have lived here 15 years. We maybe play Pecan Bowl for 5 or 6 years. I'm constantly thinking about ways to bring those guys together. One of our ideas we had this year is to recognize some of our original players. Next year will be year 15. So that'd be a great idea to bring back some of the original guys, but the founders of the men's club as a whole, the original Pecan Bowl players, the guys that really helped get this event off the ground. And we're also batting around the idea of starting a Pecan Bowl Hall of Fame. So next year, it's a sneak peek for next year. We'll be inducting the inaugural class into the Wilchester Men's Club Pecan Bowl Hall of Fame.
That's fantastic.
And we also will have a Wilchester Men's Club Walter Payton Man of the Year.
How do you follow that?
Because I don't know if Walter Payton's gonna buy in, like the foundation's gonna love it, but I think for next year it would be interesting.
That was incredible. No, that's all. That's what you're doing, Blaine.
That's fantastic. But I think that it would be interesting to see. I know that some of these guys would like to see it as fines for penalties. Just take it to you have a rough penalty, you get fined, it goes to charity, that sort of thing. I don't know if that will discourage penalties. That might actually encourage penalties. But don't let that. But who knows?
There's some deep pockets in this neighborhood. I'm not sure we need to encourage them.
And I don't know. I don't think we need anybody to set a record for the largest penalty. Like I don't know that that's something we
may have had that this year, but we didn't implement that this year. So
but for next year,
I guess the committee's going to need to take that under advisement. So, Grant, what do you got?
Well, there were a lot of storylines that came out of the semifinal round, and we had talked about the idea of doing some SEC shorts style videos for in the 2 weeks leading up from the end of the first game until the next game. And let's
see if we can make it happen here.
Do we have the audio?
We should.
We don't have the audio.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, we do.
Hey, Tim. Yeah, just watching some football. Yeah. What's that? Oh, wow. I like it. That's actually a good idea. Really? Well, the last good idea you had is kind of backfiring on me. The one where you signal me and I have the ref throw a flag? Yeah, they're catching.
Oh, no.
They're catching on. They're catching on.
They're catching on.
Catching on.
Oh, my God. That one was good. And that's awesome. I hope we could do.
We'd actually act on it next year and put them together and do it the right way. But
I love that. The idea of an SEC shorts and WMC shorts. I love it. The one thing I'll tell you, guys, I would love to see is a flyover. I heard Bo Ryan, he scheduled a B-52, or maybe it was an Cessna. I'm not sure.
Maybe a Cessna. It could have been like one of those hyperlight things. Who knows, frankly.
Drone.
It was
a drone.
Drones.
For the 15. We got to start planning now.
Can we get the Blue Angels? Are they available? Blue Angels may be booked for Pecan Bowl, but who knows?
Can we get an A-10 Warthog? Listen, I'd take my kid's model airplane at this point, but at least we're going to have something. We'll make something. But guys, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you, the Urics, for opening up their home. And this was phenomenal. Pecan Bowl is such a great event, and we look forward to it next year. So thank you all for being a part of our podcast, our Porchcast, and we will see you all soon. Thank you.